Trash. There is a lot of it. Like, a lot of it. It pollutes our planet and contributes to the destruction of habitats across the globe. But where does it come from? The thing is, it comes from people just like you and me. Try to think of some of the things that you throw away over the course of a day or a week. Maybe you throw away some leftover food at the end of mealtime. Maybe a couple paper towels if you spilled some juice or need to wipe your hands. Perhaps you broke a toy. Throw it away. Or packaging from a new one. Clothes you have outgrown? Markers, magazines, plastic bags. Anything else? But remember, it's not just you throwing away all this stuff, but your whole family, your whole city, your whole country. Starting to see how it can pile up? Let's try and put some numbers into perspective. The average American throws away about 4.4 pounds of trash per day, and about 1,600 pounds per year. And there are about 300 million people in the United States. So how much trash is that? Well, with that much trash, we could fill up enough dump trucks to make a line all the way to the moon every year, and that's just America. That's a lot of trash, huh? It still might be kind of hard to understand how much that is, so let's look at one single type of trash at a time. How about just plastic bags? Every 5 seconds in the US, we use 60,000 plastic bags. This adds up to about 30,000 tons of plastic bags ending up in landfills every year. This weight is equivalent to 4,440 elephants, or about 300 blue whales, or 72 fully loaded passenger planes. Paper? The average American uses about one 100-foot-tall Douglas fir tree's worth of paper each year. In fact, 100 million trees are cut down every year just for junk mail, which is enough trees to cover a forest of 225 square miles. Plastic bottles? The U.S. uses about 2 million plastic bottles every 5 minutes. That means that in 1 week, we use enough plastic bottles to circle the Earth 5 times. What about stuff like food? Well, Americans produce about 96 billion pounds of food waste every year. If we were able to recover just 25% of that food, we could feed nearly 20 million people. That's about the entire population of Australia. I'm starting to get an idea of just how much trash we produce. And I hope right about now you're wondering what you can do to help change it all. Well, there's good news. You can help change it. And there are a few pretty simple ways to start. Have you ever heard of composting or recycling? There are 2 ways to reduce the total amount of trash you put into places like landfills by finding other uses for some of your waste. They are pretty straightforward ideas and can be done in the variety of ways. Let's start with recycling. There's a simple day-to-day recycling, which is just taking something that isn't useful anymore and turning it into something else, like saving an old jar and using it as a drinking glass, or using household items for arts and crafts. But recycling can be so much more than that. Recycling can be a way to reuse raw materials on a large scale to both reduce the environmental cost of new materials and keep old materials out of landfills. Here's how it works. You start by separating your trash into stuff that goes into a landfill and stuff that can be recycled, such as certain types of glass, plastic, metal, and paper. Then you put the recyclable materials into a designated recycling container. From there, the containers are picked up and taken to sorting centers, which separate out all the different kinds of materials. Then, once separated, the materials can be taken to centers that either melt, break, or pulverize them, so they can be reused in factories to make new products. You can help with this process by both recycling the trash that you can and encouraging your parents to buy things from recycled materials. But don't forget, recycling isn't the only way to reduce your trash output. You can also compost. Composting lets you keep food scraps, lawn clippings, leaves, paper, and other items that are biodegradable out of landfills. Biodegradable means that over time it can be broken down and decomposed by certain organisms like bacteria, fungi, and worms. Sounds kind of gross, huh? But here's a cool thing. Once broken down, you can use these materials to make good topsoil or fertilizer in gardens, which makes for healthier and stronger plants. If you don't have a garden at home or don't live in a place where you can compost, there are some businesses that collect these compostable materials from places like schools, similar to what other businesses do for recycling. Finally, to help reduce your trash output, always try and buy things with as little packaging as possible. Together, we can turn this into this. We can keep plastic out of our oceans and make the planet a cleaner, healthier place. If you want to learn more about recycling, composting, or any other ways to help reduce the amount of trash you produce, get your parents' help to check out some of these websites.